How's it going? This is Lord Pog, and welcome to Lord Pog Gaming. So today I'm gonna try something a little different. I'm going to review 3 short games and kind of look into what I feel is their inspiration, or at least like the vibes I got from them while playing them. They're not very long games. I found them on Steam. They're free, and so if they interest you, you should check them out. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna check out these games, and I thank you for joining me once again here. I know it's been a minute since I uploaded a video. I'm still working on my Observer playthrough, but unfortunately my PlayStation 4 has decided it wants to be acting up on me. It's because I overloaded it with other stuff, and yeah, that's a long story, and I don't really want to get into it, so it's just going to take a minute before I finish that and then do my full review of Observer System Redo. With that said, though, I thank you for joining me. Welcome to Lord Pog's Gaming Channel. I know I said that already. God, I said that already. We're going to be looking at these 3 games today, though. If you like what you see here, please like, share, and subscribe. And let's get into it. Something I do want to apologize to you good people about is, on my last video, I kind of was sitting there talking about subscribers and trying to, and if you look at my welcome video on my page, on my actual channel page, I promised y'all I wouldn't beg y'all for like a Patreon or even bug you too much about subscribing to the channel, and I kind of already broke that promise with all that, so I apologize for that, and I won't do that anymore. I will, do the regular thing, if you like, share, and subscribe, then, or if you like the channel, if you like, share, and subscribe. If you like what you see, though, I will ask you to like, share, and subscribe, but I'm not gonna beg, I feel sleazy doing that, and like I said before on the welcome video, I like to treat you all like friends more than anything else. So yeah, let's get into it then. The first game I played was called Those Who Crawl, and that's an interesting game. If you know anything about it, if you've ever heard of it or anything, then you know it's just kind of like a little crawling walking simulator with some interesting little mechanics. It's kind of like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out from the old Nintendo NES days, where you got a 2-button combination, A, B, A, B. A works your left punch, B works your right punch. It's a similar aspect to that. Then they throw in, other little mechanics, like you can double press a button to kind of lift yourself up, and then you get a knife, or basically a tooth. That's what I saw it as, like a tooth or a piece of broken bone that they call it a knife, but it's really just a shiv to defend yourself with. And these will be spoiler-free reviews, by the way. I won't tell any of you the ending or anything like that, because they are free on Steam, so I suggest playing them. They don't take too long, and they're interesting. They're free. You get what you ask for, but you get what you pay for. And even with that said, they're really interesting little games. This one, Those Who Crawl, reminds me of the Mystery of the Flesh Pits. If you know anything about that, it's... What am I saying? I'm getting freaking... The Mystery of the Flesh Pits is like a science fiction horror thing. It's almost like an ARG. I've heard about it before. It's by a guy named Trevor Roberts, who for a few years has been doing this thing where in Texas somewhere, I don't remember all the. There's a lot of channels out there. You could look it up on YouTube and check it out. I will put a link in the description of the actual website you can go to. MysteryFleshPitNationalPark.com. It's really neat. This guy's got it set up, written and illustrated by Trevor Roberts. He's got it set up like it's a legit thing. Like this was a real thing. Gumption, Texas, I think, is where it takes place. And oh man, it's just chocked full of newspaper clippings and different like pictures and of basically to break it down a little bit, it's basically you're like inside this thing, and this game reminds me of this because it's almost like you're inside a living body while playing this game, like a giant beast of some sort, much like the Flesh Pits. Which, no spoilers there. They pretty much let you in on that secret real quick, that the Flesh Pit National Park is basically the body, like the massive body of some like sleeping eldritch horror. And in this game, those who crawl, that you begin to kind of feel like that's exactly what you're doing, crawling through like the body of some eldritch horror. And then you run into some creatures in there, and out of all things too, spiders, right? I don't like them. I don't like them. I am totally Bo Burnham. I'm with him on that, you know. Since I was close and able, I jumped up on the coffee table, you know. If you don't know, then I'm sorry, but if you know what I'm talking about, right? And it had to be the spiders, but it differs from the Flesh Pit National Archive plotline, as far as I know. Maybe not, because I really don't feel like when the Flesh Pits. I don't know if Trevor Roberts is continuing this or if he's done with this narrative, but as far as I know, what I know of it, it ends kind of ambiguous as to what it really is, and kind of leaves it up to your imagination. There are some hints to it or what it could be. In sort of the same thing in Those Who Crawl, though, the way that ends, you're kind of left wondering, well, interesting. It's got a lot of symbolism there. It's not unlike Paradise Lost to me too, actually. So do with that what you will. Yeah, it's a really interesting game, interesting mechanics. You know, you got click left to grab, pull yourself forward, click right to grab, pull yourself forward, double click, push yourself up, spacebar will use your shiv, and it takes a while. You are capable of dying in this game, but honestly, once you figure it out, it's not that hard. It's not that hard to stay alive. It's a little unnerving because of the spiders or whatever it is. I don't know how many there are, but it also gives you that uneasy, claustrophobic feel, and there's parts of it too where it's like, man, especially when you're not entirely sure where you're supposed to go, and the way isn't necessarily as clear to you as you thought it was, and some of those spots are kind of tight, you know. Even so, I don't know what I'm saying at this point. Let's just move on. Those Who Crawl. The second game I played was a game called Jotun, and I'm probably mispronouncing that, but that's also a free game on Steam. And I probably am mispronouncing that, but I do recognize that name. The 2017 horror movie, it really wasn't a horror. It wasn't scary. It really wasn't scary, but it's called The Ritual, and you can find that on Netflix. I mean, if you even have a Netflix anymore. If anybody out there still has a Netflix, let me know, because it's pretty rare at this point, I think. I think they have commercials on there now, if I'm not mistaken. I'm almost positive they have commercials on Netflix now. And that's... if anybody knows that for sure, let me know in the comments. Or if it's like Hulu, you have to pay more money so you don't get commercials or something. Just let me know, because I don't really know what's going on with Netflix these days. The Ritual is an old 2017 old. God, why would I say old? Come on, Pod, get it together. Ritual is a 2017 horror mystery, whatever movie that, like I said, wasn't very scary, but it had its interesting parts. And these guys get lost in the Scandinavian wilderness. They get lost in this forest that is controlled by Jotun, who's a Scandinavian monster. Basically, he's from Norse mythology. Basically, he's one of the Norse bad boys, one of the Norse monsters. Why am I talking like that? Jotun is, I guess he's like the son of Loki or something, according to Norse mythology. But I only know like a little bit of mythology. Like, I know some mythology, but I know like chunks of mythology from all cultures. Well, not all cultures, not every last culture on the planet, but I know a lot of mythology, but I only know it in chunks, you know, like a master. I'm a jack of all trades, but a master of none type of thing when it comes to mythology. But I'm like that with a lot of things. I'm like that with everything. Now that I come to think about it, I really suck at life for the most part, but I'm good at just a little bit of it. So he's the son of Loki, though, and that's pretty much all there is to it. This game, Jotun, which is based upon this mythological character, it's not the Ritual. You're not playing that movie. It's just, I feel like that helps to explain it. It kind of feels like what you're doing in Jotun is, well, without spoiling it, you are basically trying to run around and light these glyphs while keeping Jotun from clapping your cheeks. Is basically what it boils down to. He's gonna see, he'll chase you, is what it is. So it becomes a running simulator. It's all just a walking simulator, but this one's a running simulator, especially since there's like one point I no-clipped into some trees because for some reason some of the trees let you walk through them like you could, you know, push some branches to the side, just out of my way, just to the side, please, let me pass. And then some of them act like they're brick walls and don't let you push through them at all, like the branches. And I no-clipped somehow and got myself stuck, and I swear Jotun saw me from like 10 miles away and just started charging me, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna get out of this, so you might as well just kill me now. It does have a save system, which is nice, and it takes you back. So keep in mind, you're gonna want to kind of memorize how the quickest way to get back to your save point, which is like a little cottage type thing, a little hut, a miniature hall, if you will. And you're going to want to do that because you're going to be looking for these glyphs. You're going to be trying to light these glyphs, and they're scattered throughout there. You could use your torch to see where you're going, but that ain't gonna, you know, come to think of it now, there is a really good strategy there that you could do, but I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to let you play the game, and it's free on Steam, so give that a shot. It's not a terrible game. None of these games are terrible. They're free, which doesn't necessarily mean that they're terrible, but, you know, just, you can't expect too much. The last game I played is called The Last Job. And I saved this one for last because this is the one that genuinely freaked me out. Like, I was playing this, and I legitimately almost screamed several times playing this game. Did I say 6.5 TV? Right? 6.52. this game. Well, and when I mean almost screamed, I mean like I shuddered. I almost pee-peed my pants. No, I don't know why I'm saying it like that. I almost lost my mind playing that game at several parts. I don't know what it was. It's got some pretty good jump scares. So my footage on this has to be real selective because I don't really want to ruin the jump scares for you. I will say that out of all the games that I played, The Last Job is probably the shortest one out of all of them, and it's really how quick or how quick. That's not right. Come on, Pog. Let's get it together. The game will be as long as you want it to be. It will only be as long as you want it to be, depending on whether or not you can solve its really one and only puzzle, and that is this save combination. And I won't ruin it for you, but I had to cheat. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be as honest with you as I possibly can be. I had to cheat to get that code because I did not understand the puzzle, and I feel okay about that. I really do, because I was reading the description about this game, and the creator of it said themselves that there's like a whole community chat thing on Steam, like a discussions, if you will, talking about like a lot of people like the game. People like the game. The problem is people thought that the puzzle didn't make a lot of sense, and so I guess the creator of the game or somebody about the game, I don't know, it's in the discussion somewhere. I don't remember where I saw it now, so forgive me for that. But they say that it does. It makes sense. The person claims that it does make sense. I didn't read the whole thing because I was just like, well, I don't care. I cheated, so I don't care. But to me, it feels like it's mathematical, and I really don't play video games for mathematics. I play video games to escape. Kind of like I feel like people should be able to like watch movies and play video games and do all the fun things as a means to escape instead of always having political agenda and math, even worse than political agenda shoved in their face. Math. I mean, is there anything worse than that? Like, no, I'm not. I'm not trying to get algebra class bored while playing a video game, so I just cheat. I don't care. I'm gonna be honest with you, full disclosure, I cheated. So, I lost my train of thought. There is no real media I can think of that relates to this game a whole lot, other than like home invasion movies, with like the lovable thief who, because the point of that game is it's called The Last Job. You are a thief. Let me get my thoughts in order here for a second, okay? The purpose of the game is you are like a thief who breaks into this house, and it's not a good idea. It was a bad idea. Wrong house, right? We have movies like that. You got movies like Don't Breathe, where these people are breaking into houses or whatever, but they're lovable. There's some kind of tragic backstory or something. Or my favorite, personally, is a movie called The Collector. That one's my personal favorite, from 2009, The Collector. First time I saw that movie, I just thought to myself, this situation would suck. I'd be so screwed. If you haven't seen that, look that movie up. I personally own the DVD, so I don't know where you could even find it, but I suggest you look that up, because that is a good movie. if you want to like experience like what feels like a really bad day, watch that. For a thief. Watch that movie. And that, but none of these examples really match this game's feel. But it is, yeah. It's sort of one of those things where you're kind of like a, just a guy. You're a thief. I don't know. Honestly, you don't get a lot of backstory behind your character in this game, so I don't know if you're lovable or not, or if you if you should be experiencing this. But in those movies, usually, if it's more than one thief breaking in, like in Don't Breathe, maybe in Don't Breathe, and I only seen it once, and I really didn't like it a whole lot, but I think like maybe two of the characters are kind of lovable losers, and the other one is crap. He's just crap. I know in The Collector, though, this guy, yeah, he's a thief, but he's doing it for... He's put in circumstances that he feels like he's got to... What are the words I'm even looking for right now? I mean, I can't speak any other language but English, so why can't I even speak that right now? He's in these situations where... brought on by like his wife and stuff, or his ex-wife or something, and he just feels like he's got to do this to make extra money to do things to help her and his kid and things like that. So you could say he's like a thief with a golden heart or something. I don't know what the expression would be for a lovable... He's a lovable loser. That's really what it boils down to, right? It's that archetype, a lovable loser. And in this game, The Last Job, I don't really know if you're a lovable loser or if you were just really a douchebag to begin with, because they don't give you a whole lot of background for your character. But I will say that that's kind of another kicker to that game that makes that game a little bit more sinister, because you do get a short story at the beginning of who you are and what you're about, but you don't really know your personality. And because you don't, it almost makes it feel like it's you. Even though they give you the character's name, you really kind of just feel like it's you, man. You breaking into this house and doing this. And so, it really does feel like this is all happening to you. It's a pretty good game. I like it. And again, it's free on Steam, so give that a shot. If you like any three of these games, I will... well, I don't know what I'll do. I guess let me know. Let me know in the comments. I'll tell you what, if you like any of these games, how about you tell me how you feel about them? I suppose, just to be a little professional here, I will put the names of the creators in the description, because who created them now is complete. I guess I could just take a few moments and kind of just look it up, right? Like, kind of just figure out who made the game. Jotun was developed by Rovin Cabness. That's the developer and publisher. Those Who Crawl was developed and published by Hushfing Games. The Last Job was developed by Definitely Not Scary Games and published by Definitely Not Scary Games. Alright, now that we're done zipping through time real quick, and I've got a lot of stuff I've got to cut out of this video now because I had to do that. I will say The Last Job, that is unironic, or an ironic name, however you want to say it. I believe it's ironic, but here lately people like to say unironically, which is a very ironic thing to do if you ask me, but whatever. Definitely Not Scary Games. Out of all of those three games, this was definitely the scariest game out of all three. So check them out. Tell me what you think in the comments, and we'll see you next time. If you like what I do here, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment in the channel, as it does help me out, and I would appreciate it. But if you don't want to, that's fine too. Y'all come back now. You hear?